Hey friends, this is Bobby Shanks, author of the now released book, Undateable. So here's the deal. Do you struggle with dating? Well, this book is for you. It says right here, why singles struggle with dating and what to do about it. This book is officially released as of today. You can go on Amazon Books and type in the title. You can type in the author name, my name, and it will be shipped to you pronto. And we have an upcoming release party here in good old St. Louis, Missouri. And if you bring the book, I would be honored to sign it for you. So without further ado, let's get started with today's special edition podcast. We are going to do something we've never done before. It's going to be fun. It's going to be lively. It's going to be really funny. And before we get to that, I want to introduce our show's producer, Ian Brown.
Good. Well into the night, everyone.
Yeah, we're actually filming much later
than
what we normally do. So we'll try to keep it lively here. It's going to be a great topic. And I want to introduce our very special guest host who has been with us before on episode number 1. Say hello.
Hi there.
Okay.
This is a monumental moment in a show when you have your first returning
It's a big deal.
guest on the show. So
It is.
She was our guinea pig for episode number 1.
Guinea pig is a great way to put it.
Yeah, she bared with us while we worked through all the kinks and figured everything out.
Thank you for that.
Didn't I have like 6 hours of notice?
Oh, that's right. Welcome to my life. Mm-hmm. Welcome to my life. We're, as you can clearly see from our studio, we're a little more organized now. Okay, so give us your whole name.
Jennifer Grissom.
Okay, and I'm going to throw a curveball at you. Why don't you introduce today's topic? Because this is a special episode. This isn't going to be like any other episode.
It's going to be fun.
What is it? What are we going to do?
Today we're going to talk about terms about dating, but only Urban Dictionary terms.
Okay, so let's tee this up. You and I were chatting recently, and whose idea was it?
Well, of course it was mine.
I think it was yours. You brat. Okay, so Jen had this idea because of some other stuff that we were chatting about. Why don't we do an episode to talk about dating terminology that's slang?
Right.
And so Ian has all of the terms. Mm-hmm. We don't know what he's going to throw at us, but he's going to give us a term, and we're going to try to like guess what it means.
Okay.
Maybe we already know. And he's going to look it up, or we'll look it up, or whatever. And then we're going to talk about Urban Dictionary terms for dating. And there's going to be some really good stuff in here. I promise you, stuff you've never heard before. And once you hear it, you're going to be like, oh, yeah. All right. So no requested or rejected, no super heavy topics. This is pure fun, pure laughter, lots of entertainment. Kick us off with an Urban Dictionary slang term for dating.
So let's start with a semi-easy one, but we're going to talk. This is a little bit of a different version of something that pretty much everyone has heard of, catfishing. We've all heard of catfishing. Well, this is kitten fishing.
Okay, so
kitten fishing.
I think everybody kitten fishes.
Oh. Men too?
Yep. So
what is it?
So my understanding of what it is you're presenting yourself in the most positive light. It's not necessarily false, but it is definitely a positive light.
Give us an example.
Do you work at UPS or are you in charge of transportation?
Wow, you came up with that really
fast.
fast.
Do you deliver a package or are you
Why did you come up with that so fast? Did that happen to you? Is that too personal? We can move on.
No. So I got this really weird message the other day from somebody on Facebook Messenger. Okay. And it was somebody who I had like read their message on a dating app. And they sent me something and it said, oh, whatever it is you're cooking looks great. And hey, tell your neighbors that they're ordering way too much dog food. And I'm just like reading this. And normally it's not something I would ever even reply to. But it's like your neighbors are ordering too much dog food. And I'm like, oh, really? Do tell. Ha, ha, ha. And so I didn't really know that this person worked for UPS or was a UPS driver because their dating profile says something along the lines of transportation director or something to that effect.
I totally
Logistics.
Yes. I totally get it now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So they drive a UPS truck, and apparently they saw me loading or unloading my vehicle the other day, and now I'm a little bit scared. Like, I'm serious.
I would be too. I'm a big guy and I would be freaked out. So catfishing is when someone posts
it's a blatant lie, right?
Pretty much.
I mean,
I have been catfished more times than I can count.
Yeah, everybody has. But you have a picture and it's like it's so filtered that it doesn't even represent the person, or it's from 5 years ago and they were 50 pounds more, or whatever. Kitten fishing though is just
like, oh, I'm so special, I'm so good, I'm so whatever because of, my job or where I'm at in life or whatever, and here's me holding, a basket of fluffy kittens.
Yeah.
That I don't own, but posed for the picture.
Right. Exactly.
All right, so that's a good one. And hit us with another one.
So this is slightly related, and let's just kind of go straight into breadcrumbing.
Breadcrumbing's in my book.
Refresh me on what it means again.
Well, so in my book, basically what it means is where someone like drops these little breadcrumbs, like, hey, I want to keep your attention, but I'm not all in because I'm like 20% in with you. I'm 20% in with you. I'm 20% in. Right. So it's like I don't say this in my book, but I call it the 1/5 rule.
Sure.
Right. So there's 5 people. Each person gets 20%. I don't think you can divide it up more than that. So I call it breadcrumbing. Is that what it means in Urban Dictionary?
Let's see.
What does it mean in Urban Dictionary?
Breadcrumbing is basically where you are kind of, it's like pushing people along or leading them on. It's, you keep giving them what they want. You kind of keep, giving them the breadcrumbs that they want, but you're never going to give them the full slice of bread.
Do you know that you'll
so
never give them
basically
the
it's
slice
exactly
of bread,
like
though?
my book, and I never even looked it up on Urban Dictionary before I wrote it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So generally you would knowingly not want to, like, you're never going to give them the full.
Okay.
Deal.
What you think of that?
Do you know?
I mean, croutons are yummy. I'll eat some croutons. Dip that in some ranch.
Okay, so I have, not knowingly that I would never go there or that it could never possibly develop into something, but I have maintained a communication thinking that, well, maybe maybe there's potential in the future, so I'll throw out a few breadcrumbs.
There's a term for that too.
Knowingly, though, I feel like is a little bit more malicious and a waste of my time.
Yeah. Agreed.
What about you?
Next topic.
Uh-huh.
Don't put me on the stand.
I get to do whatever I want. I'm the guest.
Oh.
Actually, that's what you're supposed to say. I get to do whatever I want
that's
because I'm
right.
the host.
That's right. That's right. Well, actually, Ian runs the show. So,
Right.
Ian, what do you got for us
We're
next?
just the puppets.
So let's talk about the term or the phrase out kicking your coverage.
I love this one. This is probably going to be my favorite one. Do you know what it means?
Surprisingly, were you the one that you said you didn't know this right away?
I did not know this. I knew what this meant from a football standpoint.
Yeah.
You know, when you outkick your coverage, right, on a punt.
Yeah. Which is why it surprises me that you didn't snap to it real quick.
Well, but I know what it is now from a dating perspective. Do you know?
I only found out literally days ago.
Okay.
It showed up on a Facebook comment on a recipe that I posted, and I
Okay.
had to Google it in Urban Dictionary.
Okay, so that's how it came up because we were talking about it.
And I'm like, hey, have you ever heard of this before?
That's right. Okay. All right. So it's a guy thing. I think it's a guy thing, right?
That's
for
the
the
way
most
that I
part.
took it.
Okay, so I'll talk to it. So outkicking your coverage means like I want to be careful how I say this. It means I have a girl that is like above me. Right? She ranks higher.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go a step further, and I'm gonna say, not only does she rank higher in a category, she ranks higher in all categories.
Or it could be vice versa. Maybe the guy outranks the girl.
No. But I think that's acceptable
Yeah.
in today's culture, and I actually talk to that in my book. Mm-hmm. Very carefully. But when a girl outranks a guy in all categories, so I don't know, let's just make up some categories. Emotional maturity, emotional IQ, financial, could be age.
Right?
And I am definitely going to say physically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's outpunted his coverage. For sure.
So hold on. Do you ever feel like you have been in this situation? Either of you. Looking back, were you like, yeah? Do you ever have that feeling?
I feel like I don't want to answer that question.
I know you don't. I will answer it. And the answer is yes. I have two examples from my life. One, when I was in my 20s. And
You want to just leave it at that?
yeah, we're definitely going to leave it at that.
All right. So
And then one in the last 2 years.
So we've all heard of what a one night stand is. This is a half night stand.
This is so messed up,
It is.
but it's real.
Is that like losing half of your virginity?
How do you lose half your virginity? You know what? Well, do you want to explain it?
No.
Oh, I didn't think you did. So,
So a half night stand is basically you sleep with somebody and then you don't stay overnight. You just dine and dash.
it's dine and dash, except it's sex.
Right. That's my point.
Shameless. But it happens. It's real.
I feel
it's
like
a real deal.
It totally does. I mean, that's not me. That's not the type of person that I am. But I think that's very real.
Okay, so I'm gonna push on this a little bit.
All right.
what percentage of the time do you think a half night stand happens on a first date?
For a man or for a woman? Because I feel like the percentages
for the
are not
purposes
equal.
of this programming, because I don't get into polyamory, I don't get into LGBTQ, all of that stuff. So let's just say good old fashioned,
No,
since the beginning
agreed.
of time, men and women, a man and a woman, right?
But-
So that's 50-50.
I would say more men have one night stands than women do.
No. Half night.
Or half night stands.
All right. So what percentage of the time does a half night stand as an average with a man and a woman on a first date?
For a woman, I would say 10%. Okay.
Okay. I'm good with that answer. What percentage of the time is on a second date?
It definitely
shy.
jumps percentage-wise.
it jumps.
25,
Yeah, it jumps.
25.
All right. Now,
Third date. It's a magic number.
seems to be.
I'd go with 60%.
Aggressive.
It's a guess.
I want people to comment on this. Well, here's the deal. Okay, so here's what I've learned about this show. People are not going to comment on this because it's so polarizing. It's inflammatory.
Agreed.
Nobody between the age of 35 and 55, which is 85% of my demo, wants to make a comment on this because they're smart enough to know that this shit hangs around online.
Right.
Next topic.
So these two terms are very related. So the first one is haunting, and the second term is paper clipping.
I love this. This is so fun. I'll guarantee you nobody who's watching this has heard of paper clipping.
Define it for people.
To me, it's social media stalking.
Okay.
You're haunting, you're popping in, you're commenting, but you're not really engaging. You're just making your presence known. That's what comes to mind when I think of those two terms.
So paper clipping. So did you ever have like Microsoft Word 98?
Yes.
You remember Encarta?
Yeah.
Microsoft Encyclopedia? They had the little paperclip guy.
So the paper
Same
clip
thing.
pops in at the bottom and says, "Oh, by the way, maybe you should make that bold." Or
He
"Why
makes
don't you
his presence known.
Yeah, why don't you try this feature out? So in the same term, it's someone who pops in and out, but isn't very useful. You're never actually looking for this person, and you never really care what they had to say. That's paper clipping.
Okay.
Yeah.
Slightly different. Haunting is after the date, you notice that person kind of like still liking your photos. Like you agree not to go on any more dates, but they're still liking your photos. They're still watching all your Instagram stories. They're still engaging with you, but from a distance and quietly.
The one that freaks me out is whenever it's an old post or story that they go back and like.
Right.
Like,
they go back to like
something-
2010.
and hit
I've
like
had that
on it.
happen so many times. It's
I know.
creepy.
It is.
It is. It's a little creepy.
It's creepy.
Like if you want to creep on me on social media and you go back to, 2019, 18. Oh yeah, okay. So scroll. But on my social media, if you go back to 2010, you are dedicated.
Yeah.
Like you probably have like 5 computer screens and Mountain Dew.
There's not that many people
and-
who have as many selfies on their Facebook page as you do.
That's some shots fired there. Do you know what that term means? Is that
I have some bullet holes right now.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
she launched? That was a full-scale nuclear war.
That was that was like turn both keys
You
at the
left
same
yourself
time. I
open.
did. I deserve it.
All right,
She's not wrong.
I'm just gonna play right into her game here with
Such a brat.
with the term emergency call.
I love this topic.
So you were part of whenever I think of that term, there's one story that comes to mind. And you were part of that. I don't know how much of it you remember or how much of it you know.
I remember. I remember really well.
So this was the first Christmas that I did not have my kids for the holidays. And everybody knows that for singles, the holidays are rough.
True that.
So,
Especially your first Christmas.
Yep. And
After a 21-year marriage.
For those who don't understand, why is it a tough time?
Divorce is a death. It's a change. It's a transition. You go from being, in theory, one big happy family to you're by yourself for a major, major emotional holiday.
I remember my first Christmas with, I got to see my kids in the morning until about 10.
Yeah.
And then I was alone the rest of the day. Oh my gosh, it was bad.
Yeah.
I
So
won't even say on camera what happened that day.
So for me, this was looming, and I had dipped my toes in the dating app world, and I had made a match, and the gentleman that I had been talking to for several weeks, and like talking on the phone, not just texting, but like I felt like I knew. He was a pilot. He had a place here, and then also outside of Lake Tahoe in Truckee, California. So it's a big ski resort town. And, he checked all the boxes. I talked to this person. Everything was right.
Yeah.
So he said, basically, I get that you don't have your kids. Come visit me in my large house with a guest suite. And
Not a guest room.
A guest suite.
Sweet.
And I will show you around.
Was his name Christian Grey? Don't answer that.
I will show you around my ski resort town, and we will go to church because I'm a Christian, and that's part of this. And all the boxes were checked. I'll just put it that way. So I fly into Reno, and he picks me up, and it takes 30 minutes to get back to his house. And I roll in my little luggage through the garage door, and just inside the garage door is the master suite. And he says, "Would you like to put your suitcase in my room?" And then there's this pause. "Or did you want to take it up to the guest suite?" And I'm thinking, I literally just met you 30 minutes ago in person. Don't get me wrong. We all hope that there's going to be like magnetic chemistry because that's the goal, right?
Yeah, it is.
But after 30 minutes, you want to know if I want to move into your bedroom?
For the weekend or whatever it is.
Right. So I was scheduled to be there for 3 days. The next morning, and you were the only person who knew that I had flown out of town to go see it.
And I'm glad that you told me.
To see
just, just from a...
Well, from a safety perspective.
Yeah,
This was a bold move that outside of the holidays, I don't know if I would have made.
Yeah. I get it.
So the next morning, you called me, and I'm in the bathroom at his church. And I couldn't answer, but I could text. And I said,
checking in.
Here's what you're going to do. You're going to call me back in 1 hour, because I knew I'd be in the car with him. And whenever somebody calls you on your phone, you can hear the voice often, that other person, if they speak loudly. And I was counting on that. And I said, you are going to pretend to be my ex-husband, and you are going to say that a grandparent has died and I need to come home immediately to be with our kids.
And did I do that?
You did exactly that. And you did it.
Totally did it.
You sold it.
Oh, I sold that
Sold
shit.
it well.
Oh my gosh.
I was on the way to the airport within 30 minutes.
Yeah. Oh.
Can you
Emergency
can you
call.
That
rekindle
was
these this conversation and just reproduce it? How did you sound on the phone is what I'm asking.
No, I wasn't like that.
No, it wasn't like that. It was very matter of the fact. I mean, this
Like on Ferris Bueller's Day Off, when she calls in. Speaking of Ferris Bueller, no, I was like, hey, this is X name. Uncle Bill passed, and family's getting together.
except it was a grandparent, which is more dramatic.
Right, or
Be-
whatever
for the
it was.
kids.
Right. Anyways, yeah. Now here's what I don't know. I know you. I feel like I could visualize what was going on your end, but I don't. Like, we talked afterwards when you got home and you were safe and whatever. Actually, I have a bigger question. And so does this audience. Why?
It just wasn't right. I wasn't going to stay there for 2 more days. It just wasn't right. And I was, how do you extricate yourself from a situation like that? I mean, it was a bold move to go out of town. I mean, I could have called an Uber, but this was a more gentle way of getting myself out of it. That, what if I would have said, dude, I'm not into you, and he would have been upset. I didn't have to do that because I made an emergency call and I made something up. Because no matter how well you know somebody over the course of a couple of weeks over the phone, you don't really know somebody till you know somebody.
Oh, true that. Like face to face.
Right, absolutely.
Right. Body language, and this is arguable, but, I shouldn't say arguable, debatable. Body language is 70, 80, 90% of communication.
Agreed.
And you can call, now, I will say video conferencing does help.
Sure.
But when it's just texting and phone calls, and you meet that person for the first time, it's like this long distance thing.
Right.
It's a different beast.
Yeah.
I'm glad I could be there for you, though.
Yeah. No,
Like,
I appreciated it. Got me out of a tricky situation for sure.
Emergency calling. Perfect example. Not only a great example, a phenomenal example. I hope people are digging this. What else? Let's hit us with something
this
else.
one confuses me a little bit because what I pictured and what the actual definition are two completely different things. So this term is vulturing. And
I love this one. There's so much effing vulturing that goes on.
So this one, I don't know what it means. Oh, okay, wait. This is dudes who want to pick up damaged women.
Yes. Well, no, women do it too.
True.
All right. So, I mean, check me on this, Ian. But vulturing is where, this is like flash, flash, flash. If you are going through a divorce, separated, or just got out of divorce, this is for you. Vulturing is where someone you know. I've got a great example. Pause. This is somebody you know who knows you and knows that you are struggling in some way. You are struggling typically it most often means you're struggling with your current relationship.
Right. And they're going to swoop in while you're
they're
vulnerable.
Like, right? They're circling like, oh, that relationship's going to die really soon. So they're circling. And they're going to come in and like pick the eyeballs out of the dead relationship. Because here's the deal. They want to swoop in and get you before anybody else does.
Yeah.
They don't want you to heal, right? So there's another term for this. It's called a lot of people call this out of the frying pan into the skillet.
Okay.
I call it going from one cage to another cage. But when someone swoops in and scoops you up in your moment of vulnerability, in your moment of your greatest emotional need, and they pull you into their cage and another relationship. And listen, people.
Right.
This doesn't happen. It depends on the people. This doesn't just happen over weeks. Like, this shit can happen in days.
Yeah.
20-year marriage, and there's a vulture.
Yeah.
Week later.
Yeah.
So this is the other end.
Vulturing.
This is the other end of the spectrum. Submarining.
I love submarining. Do you remember submarining?
No.
It's when
Read it.
It's when a long. It's like when your old fling from high school, you haven't talked in 12 years, and then all of a sudden, back together.
All right, listen.
Or
to this.
something happens. Like
Totally
that.
right. All right, what is unique about a submarine?
The telescope, the
Periscope.
periscope.
All
Right.
So, someone who submarines. Now, look, I'm going to be honest. I've done this.
Okay. I believe you.
I've done it. But I've had it done to me many times.
Interesting.
And it goes hand in hand with vulturing.
Right.
So submarining is, right, up periscope. Boop, boop. Oh, she looks okay. Let's go over there. Hey, are you okay? Right? So 1 date, 2 dates. Now's not the right time. Down periscope. Right? Sink the submarine.
Right.
6 months later, up periscope. What's going on now? Oh, she looks better now. She's doing better. Right? She's on her feet. He's on his feet, whatever. Submarining. So it's all about, right? So when everybody thinks about, this is me, okay?
Okay.
Whenever somebody thinks about a submarine, I think about Red October. Nuclear submarine. Like, it is deadly. It is stealthy. It is the highest technology of its time.
Right.
It launches nuclear missiles. Right. People all think nuclear missiles are up in Iowa. No,
Right.
They're out in the ocean. And in relationships, it's the same way. Submarine. That is somebody who is very, like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but when somebody's being very strategic.
They have their radar out.
Oh. Right. And they ping. They ping. Right. That's a submarine term.
Yep.
Boop, 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 boop. Right. And so they want their ping to hit the other vessel and then to come back.
And at some point, it will or it won't. And that's
Does
when
it
they
come
make their
back?
move.
Yeah. And so if you get a ping, like, hey, Jenny, haven't talked to you in a while. How are things? Right? 6 months later.
Right.
Boop, 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 boop. Pinging. Submarining, vulturing, pinging. They're all related. Oh, I hope people are eating this up. Hit us again, Ann.
So
I'm going to be making submarine references for like a week now.
let's go into the funny, a good
Tune
funny
in
one.
Tokyo. The movie. Sorry. Do you remember Tune in Tokyo?
I don't remember the movie. I remember
my
being in like
gosh.
5th or 6th grade, and you had some little short kid, shorter than me,
I'm sorry, Ian. Please, just don't pay attention to me. Next term.
Thirst trap. This is a younger term.
Thirst trap.
I know what this is.
I do not.
Hit us.
This is a younger term.
I don't remember.
This is a newer. This is a very new one. So a thirst trap is when you post something with the intention of getting people to comment and get attention from
Like
it.
clickbait?
Clickbait.
It's clickbait,
except personal.
but yeah, you're looking for someone to get on your thing and say you are attractive, you are beautiful, you're amazing.
Yeah.
So, like, from a woman's perspective, it's, hey, here's me in my swimsuit.
Exactly. Or
Or-
that happens to me all the time.
no, it doesn't happen to you.
No, but posts.
So no, I don't think so.
Okay.
It's not me trying to get attention from a specific person.
It's
It's trying to get the most attention possible to fill your ego.
to fill a need.
Yes, it's to fill your ego. It has nothing to.
You're probably not going to walk away with any of these people, but you want somebody to tell you how beautiful and fabulous you look. It's an ego boost.
I hear you. I agree with you. And look, I'm quick to admit something that's a guy thing. Mm-hmm. I will push that Harry Carey sword in.
Is a chick thing.
It's a total.
It totally is. And the thing is,
It's a total chick thing. And here, now,
usually,
hold on. Oh, we both have so much to say on this.
you can spot those girls a mile away.
True.
And they're consistent about it.
Oh, yes, they are. And I will go a step further and say, in some scenarios, more often than people realized, including the people who are victimized by it, I definitely use the word victimized. These hurt women do it because of one specific person. They can have yeah, it happens, Jennifer. They can have 100,000 Instagram followers or more.
They want one person to notice.
You know what I call that? You want to know what I call that? Drinking your own poison, but hoping it kills the other guy. That's what I call that.
I've done it.
Thank you for admitting that.
I've done it.
I have too. When I was married. I haven't done it as a single person, but I've done it as a married person.
Now I'm going to slightly disagree with you.
All right, Ian's a genius.
Now, hold on.
What do you got?
Just bear in mind that there's a ton of people out there that make a career at it now.
Oh, for sure.
So
Yeah.
So there's
True,
a lot of them. So like when it's on a small scale, you're talking about like a teacher from the local school. You know what I mean? Like she's just an everyday lady. She's got 300 friends on Facebook and she's looking for that specific one. I agree with you. There are women out there with 500,000 followers and stuff like that. And every time they post one of these, the only intention is to make money.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
I think there is an important way to, to separate the two. And the part that they're looking for is the comments that continue to fuel their engagement on their Instagrams and stuff like that. So there's more to it, in my opinion, than just on a personal level.
1,000% agree.
Same.
Alrighty. Next topic.
Next topic.
I know you're gonna enjoy this one, and I'm bracing myself for impact at this point.
I'm a little nervous about this, to be honest. Okay.
Sex interview.
Right? I love this one. Hey, this is real. This is a real thing.
It definitely is.
And let me say, there are two dating platforms in particular that basically promote the sex interview. What is it, Jen? Do you want to say?
So to me, when I hear that term, that would be, are you going to be sexually compatible?
Correct.
So the sex interview is, does it matter how you get there? I don't know.
Oh, it does matter. It does matter, actually.
So I'm interested in hearing the actual definition. But to me, it's through whatever process you're doing, you're determining, is this worth continuing? Because are we going to be sexually compatible?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to stick my neck out here.
All right.
Ian, are you pulling it up?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
you've answered.
All right.
But you mentioned two dating platforms. So to answer that, I have never been involved in Tinder. To me, when I hear
that's
that,
one of the two.
when I hear that word, that's a hookup site,
It is.
and I don't want to have anything to do with it.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you necessarily what the next is or what the other is.
POF.
Plenty of fish.
Yeah.
Is it because you get
Oh,
what you
it's
pay
so
for?
skanky.
You get what you
Like-
pay for, and if you don't pay anything, then that's
It's
what
so
you get.
skanky. Like, you know those little barf bags they have on airplanes?
Yes.
Yeah, you'll need a 6-pack. You'll need 6 of them.
Okay.
So bad.
So, sex
I mean, I've done
interview.
my research. I know what I'm talking about. All right, so sex interview. This is a topic that will not resonate with people under 35. It just won't. On the average, right?
Right.
So listen, everything I talk about in my book, everything I talk about on the show, I don't deal with absolutes. Averages. Right?
Agreed.
Averages, right? I don't have an audience of 100 people. I have an audience of 1 billion, right? At least.
Okay.
Right? So I don't know who's watching, but it's worldwide. If you can speak English, you're watching. So I deal with averages.
Okay.
So a sex interview basically is where, well, okay, so hold on. Before I continue. So I like to do parentheses, right? So here's this side and here's this side. So this side is, it won't deal with people under the age of 35 that much, right? Because these are our young brothers
Here,
and sisters.
do this some more.
Don't be dirty. Dirty girl.
You're the one doing it.
It won't deal with people as much that are young, who are untainted, unruined,
Right.
unmarried, right? They're still pure. But for those of us that are over 35, where we have been married, and if never married,
Maybe they've been in a long-term
right,
relationship.
they've been in one or more long-term relationship. And here's what the sex interview is. And this is especially true for people who are swords. Jennifer. Very true for people who are swords. Listen, you got to read my book if you want to know what a sword is. Swords and Shields. People who are over the age of 35 will conduct a sex interview within the first 3 dates.
1,000,000,000% agree.
Now,
It's not going to be phrased that way. I mean, it may not be that blatant.
It won't be.
Especially from a woman's side. It's not going to be that blatant.
Oh, no.
But you're going to know.
Right. Women don't want to call it that.
No.
Not not in the spotlight, but in the solitude of their own bedroom or in their own thoughts. They know what it is. So a sex interview is where you are a percentage of the population. And let me tell you, it's a bigger percentage than people realize. Mm-hmm. It's a bigger percentage than scientists and sociologists and every other ologist will publish. But I guess including me. But it's a larger percentage of the population who are looking for not only true love and true intimacy and friendship, but they are looking for a sexually compatible partner. Extremely compatible. Which is rare.
I hate agreeing with you, but
Yeah.
in this case, I totally do.
It's just rare. And a sex interview, now that I've teed all of that up, a sex interview is simply this. I'm going to hit that. And look, I'm going to say it's mostly women. Or we can agree, we'll compromise 50-50.
Okay.
Right? Or 60-40, whatever.
Right.
But where they are going to, women, he or she is going to have sex with the opposite sex, with the opposite gender, to interview if they are compatible. Tell me I'm wrong.
I can't.
I'm sure you guys have heard this term. It's it's another one of the younger terms, but sliding into the DMs.
I love this one. It's happened so often.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, I know. Oh, it's worse. It's like for women, it's atrocious.
So let's be a little more specific on this one because it's not just at least this is what we're going off of says. It's not a random message, but you have to have met this person in person before the message.
Ooh.
So just randomly messaging,
Yes.
that's more of a shot in the dark. That's more of a message. This
Right.
is, we have met in person, nothing happened there, but later on you
Or maybe
went home.
you've seen this person.
Yes. But this article specifically says, you two have talked and interacted, and maybe you just it wasn't the right place or time to make your move, so you did it later on through instant messaging, not, you know what I mean? So there is a slight caveat.
I know what you mean.
So I think, based on this, there's a big misconception that any message is people doing whatever this term is. It's actually slightly different and more nuanced.
Hey, Jenny, can I slide into your DM? Okay, remove that part. That was too bad. But it's so true because it's like axle grease. Like you just slide in.
So the idea
It's
is
sneaky.
that you're smooth with it. It's
Yeah.
not a, hey, I think you're cute. You know, like there's
It's
slick.
yes. There's less involvement. There's less commitment. There's less
It's like the FedEx
risk.
guy.
There's less risk
The
because
FedEx guy.
exactly.
That's a slide in the DM.
100%. So we know who each other are. We've met each other, but I'm not making a full commitment. I'm going to send you a direct message on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and touch base. But I didn't send you a text. I didn't call you. It's less trying to create more.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I've done it and I've received it. It involves less commitment to do. It involves less commitment to receive.
Okay. This is more like an episode of HBO True Confessions. I have received it in abundance. Although I'm sure it's nothing like what you have. Women get it 10-1. 5-1, whatever it is. It's a big number. It's a big percentage more. But I have received it more than I've given it. But I may be guilty of trying to slide into the DM. Mm-hmm. Not very, like, I can definitely count it.
I can count it on one hand.
Oh, yeah. One hand for sure. I was going to say 3 fingers, but definitely one hand.
But I've done it.
Yeah, I've done it. I've done it.
It's the rare, like, 9+ who have received that.
Take this one a slight step further. What is a way that is, how should you do that? So, for example, it's supposed to be kind of a slicker, like, action. So leave some people with some action items on this one.
Take it away, Jenny.
No, you.
No, you take it away.
This is your show.
But you're the one that's done it more than... No, we've probably done it about the same.
I think I've done it. I think I have sent direct messages 3 times to individuals on social media. Maybe 4.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have their phone number, but I find them attractive, and I'm going to try and create intimacy.
Intimacy or interest?
Both.
Okay, yeah. Same for me. I will say, though, it's been so long since I've done it. Mm-hmm. I would have to really think about... I would have to really, honestly, I would have to think about... I'm actually struggling to think about it. I would have to think about when was the last time that I slid into someone's DM who wasn't expecting it from me.
Okay, well, Facebook story. Really fabulous Facebook story on somebody who you could potentially be interested in.
There is one.
You see a Facebook story of somebody who you find attractive, mm-hmm. and you comment, hoping for more of a connection. I've been there and done that.
Me too. Not recently, though.
Well, high five.
I mean, not within the last week.
I was going to say high five to you.
So, we're not live right now, but just a few minutes ago, wow, I might get choked up. We did a little live thing here where we did an announcement about my book being officially available for order.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny because this moment that started in January, and it's September now, I'm here with my producer who's been with me since 2018, Ian.
That's a lot longer than I assumed.
Yeah. And Jennifer, who was our first guest host. And like my phone's sitting here dinging, and I'm watching people make orders. It's really weird. I mean, I don't care about the money. That like I'm not going to really make any money anyways. But wow, I'm kind of having a second here. I'm having a moment. I hope people don't think it sucks. Okay, I have a topic.
All right.
Have you read the book?
Yes, I have.
I know that.
I know. Because I had like 50 Post-it notes on my opinions.
I saw.
Mm-hmm.
But
Good and bad.
we only talked about one thing. We never talked about the other 49. Correct. You brought it up. I'm not going to bring it up here. What'd you think?
I thought it was good. I think it made me think about dating in a lot of ways that I had not previously thought about it. It made me think outside of the box. I didn't agree with everything. And I told you what I did and did not agree with. I also told you that I could have been a better editor than your editor. I give you a 99.9% for best first book ever. And I think the next one will be even better.
I'll take that.
Okay.
It's better than,
6.5.
6.5.
Go order the book.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Man, so weird.